Baja. It's not for everyone. But that's the point, isn't it? Further you get from the resorts, the closer you get to something real. And in this case, real means desert. Relentless, unforgiving, beautiful in its own way. We're headed to Mulegé, a small town with a heroic history that time almost forgot. And from there, well, we're headed out into the desert, into the canyons, where the whispers of the Cochimi Indians linger in the wind. The Cochimi, they were here long before us, scratching out a living in this barren land. They hunted, fished, and they painted their stories on the walls of these caves. Stories we can barely understand now. But the images speak for themselves and give us glimpses into their daily lives. Getting here isn't easy, but the reward is something else entirely. Mulegé. The name sounds like a dusty sigh, a forgotten corner of Baja clinging to the edge of the Sea of Cortez. It's not Cabo. It's not even close. And that, my friends, is precisely what makes it beautiful. It's a place where time seems to move at a different pace. A place where the ghosts of the miners and missionaries still linger in the air. You won't find glitz or glamour here. What you will find are weathered faces, cracked sidewalks, and a quiet dignity that comes from living in a place where survival is a daily negotiation. The air smells of salt and dust. The sun beats down with a relentless intensity, and the nights are filled with the sound of the wind whispering through the palms. The river, when it flows, is the lifeblood of Mulegé, a ribbon of green winding through the arid landscape. It's where the locals gather, where kids play, where life unfolds at its own rhythm. And when the river runs dry, as it sometimes does, well, that's just Baja. You adapt, you endure. Mulegé isn't perfect. It's rough around the edges, a little bit broken, a little bit wild, but it's real. It's a place where you can still find a taste of the old Baja, before the resorts and the crowds, before everything became sanitized and packaged for mass consumption. It's a place where you can lose yourself, and maybe, just maybe, find something real in the process. It's a place I'll keep coming back to, a place that whispers stories of survival, resilience, and the quiet beauty of a world on edge.
This is a big cactus, like a 500 years old, and only grows 2 centimeters every year. And every year they have a fruit. When the fruit comes right, you can eat the fruit from the cactus fruit. It's very good. And the cactus has to die by yourself, and then you can use the wood for building palapa.
Hey. You stand there in the silence, in the cool darkness, and you can feel it, the weight of history, just the cave's position and sheltered orientation. the presence of something ancient. The more you look, the more you see. These aren't just paintings. A world where they competed with the wild animals of the desert to eke out a coexistence. They're a window into another world, a world of shamans and spirits, of survival and struggle, a world we can only glimpse now through these faded images. Within the Cochimi culture, shamans held a vital role, acting as intermediaries between the physical and the spiritual realms. They were not simply artists, but powerful figures within their communities, responsible for maintaining balance and harmony with the natural world. The cave paintings themselves are believed to be deeply connected to shamanic practices, perhaps depicting visions experienced during rituals or serving as a form of communication with the spirit world. These images of animals, humans, and abstract symbols may represent not just everyday life, but also the shaman's journey into sheltered states of consciousness, their connection to animal spirits, and their understanding of the cosmos. These caves themselves, often located in remote and inaccessible locations, may have been considered sacred places, places of power where the shamans performed ceremonies, sought guidance, and left behind a lasting legacy of their spiritual beliefs. We try to understand. We try to piece together the stories. But maybe that's not the point. Maybe the point is just to be here, to bear witness, to acknowledge that these people existed, that they left their mark on this land, and to remember that we're just passing through. Baja. It's a long way to come for a glimpse into the past. But sometimes the past is the only way to understand the present, and maybe, just maybe, it can teach us something about the future. These caves, this art, it's more than just a history lesson. It's a feeling, it's a connection with something ancient, something bigger than a Baja baptism. Well, you know where to start. The Cochimi are gone, but their stories remain etched in these stones. But for how long? These caves, their art, it's all fragile. They need our respect, our protection. What do you think? Should we be doing more to protect and preserve these incredible cultural relics? I'd love to hear from you in the comments if you've enjoyed this episode. If you're hungry for more stories from the wild edges of the world, there's always another adventure waiting. Thanks for watching.